Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. The game at Olympiako Stadio Spyros Louis here in Athens has got underway. It's Panathinaikos against Rangers, and Russell Martin's side go into this game in a very good, strong position. They lead 2-0 from the first leg. So they'll feel confident that they can see out the tie and get through to the next stage. But Panathinaikos at home with this raucous crowd, they could always fancy themselves to try and turn the game around. If they can get an early goal here, the home side, then the pressure really does go back onto Rangers. But from their point of view, they'll look to try and hold on to the ball, which is something that Russell Martin's teams do like to do. So we'll wait and see exactly how this one plays out. But it's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Adele Russo taking the action. Adele, we were saying just before kick-off, I'll just get your thoughts in a second, because Rangers win the ball back here in midfield. They're on the attack. A strike coming in here from Danilo Pereira, charged down at the edge of the area. But second effort here from Diamande. He tries to thread the ball through towards Kieran Dowell, but the ball is cleared back into midfield, and the home side now back in possession. So Dale, we were saying before kick-off that Rangers in a strong position, but they can't think they're through the tie just yet.
No, certainly not, and based off the first 60 seconds in the game, it doesn't seem like they're thinking that way either. They've come forward, they're happy to hold on to the ball, which, as we've already said, Rangers are a side that are happy to do that, but they're already trying shots on goal, they're already trying to test Szczerbakowicz. The shot being blocked, of course, but they're certainly up for it.
They are. They need to be, because, as we say, if Panathinaikos can score first, they'll be right back in the tie. But it's a great run down the right-hand side here from Mohamed Diamande, getting all the way to the edge of the penalty area. Couldn't quite get across, into threads the ball across the edge of the penalty area. It's a ball towards Tavernier, who'd got forward, just flicked away by Ahmed Tuba, and back into midfield. So just to remind you very quickly, for Panathinaikos, it is Bartolomei Drongowski in goal, a back four of Janis Kostiras, Eric Palmer-Brown, Ahmed Tuba, and Georgios Kyriakopoulos. The break off from that, because here come Panathinaikos with a charge down the middle. It's a strike a long way over the bar in the end. Bit of a disappointing effort there. Rui Vitoria, the head coach of Panathinaikos, looking a little bit disappointed with that one. But just to come back, it's Drongowski in goal, a back four of Kostiras, Palmer-Brown, Tuba, and Kyriakopoulos. The three in midfielder, Anastasios Bakasetas, Pedro Chiravella, and Nemanja Maksimovic. And the three up front, Facundo Pelistri, Filip Juric, and Fotis Ioannidis. As for Rangers, it is Jack Butland in goal, with a back four of James Tavernier, Harry Suter, Nasser Dija, and Max Aarons. The three in midfielder, Joe Rothwell, Mohamed Diamande, and Nicholas Raskin, with Kieran Dowell, Finlay Curtis, and Danilo Pereira as the attacking three for the side from Glasgow. But it is Panathinaikos in their traditional green in possession here down the right-hand side. Kostiras finding Pelistri. A bit more space for him down the right-hand side. He's got some support here from Bakasetas as well. Back to Pelistri, been stood up here by Max Aarons, but he gets to the byline, puts across, and there is a deflection on the way, and that will go out for the first corner kick of the evening. Yeah,
it's a good move here from Panathinaikos. Russell Martin just not looking the best pleased with his team's defence there, but I think they've done well in the end just to get it away and really just put a stop to that attack before it comes into the box, and I think that's one of the best things that Rangers can do at this point.
It is. It's going to be Bakasetas, a left footer from the right hand side with an in-swinger, trying to put this Rangers defence under pressure straight away. And he does put a little bit of whip on that one, in fact a bit too much. It's headed out for another corner. Maybe Jack Butland's just a quick applause there from Butland towards his number 20 there, Kieran Dowell, but actually Dowell probably could have left that.
Yeah, he certainly could have done. I don't think Dowell understood that there was no Panathinaikos man behind him, and he wasn't willing to take that risk. He just got clear, made sure he did his work, but he certainly could have left it.
He could have, I suppose, from the goalkeeper's point of view. If he always heads it out, then there's always that danger averted. On another occasion, there may have been a player lurking. It is going to be the same corner kick taker, an outswinger from Bakasetas this time, but it's a lot of whip on that one as well. It's all the way to the edge. They were headed back towards goal, but this time Rangers are able to clear their lines, and they should win themselves a free kick. They don't win themselves a free kick, as Simone Souza, our referee, says play on, and then the ball is whipped into the penalty area, and it goes out for yet another corner. Ioannidis was lurking there just at the edge of the 6-yard box, but I think Rangers will be, we don't get to see a replay unfortunately, but I think they will probably due a free kick there.
Yeah, certainly will be questions asked of the referee Simone Souza today, and I have to agree with the Rangers people. I think it should have been a foul.
Should have been. It's going to be an in-swinging corner now once again from Bakasetas. Slightly lower this time. That's a good header away there at the near post. Getting a bit more distance on that. I think that was Aarons with the header. The ball coming back over on the left-hand side this time. Rangers put their arm up for an offside. The flag stays down. The cross comes in and it's quickly headed away to the edge of the area. Bakasetas with the strike, and it's just wide. He's a left footer playing on that right-hand side. And the ball dropped to him. It was a really inviting place to have a shot, and it's just wide of the goal.
Yeah, it's a really good shot from that area. He had all the space in the world to line up his shot. I think he does scuff it into the ground. just slightly, so maybe that takes it off of its course, but certainly heating up for a good match here.
Yes, let's hope that it carries on at this pace, although obviously from our British perspective we probably would like to see Rangers get the ball away a little bit quicker, but they must have expected there was going to be a bit of an onslaught here from Panathinaikos, who are desperate to make up this 2-goal deficit. It's Kyriakopoulos with the throw on the left-hand side, just at the edge of the area. It's partially cleared, and then a long hook away from Danilo Pereira, well into the Panathinaikos half. In fact, it's as far back as Drągowski, the goalkeeper, who comes out and gives the ball away. That's a terrible clearance from the Polish keeper there. Gets far too much on that one. Nobody in a Panathinaikos shirt is close to that, and Max Aarons can just watch that out for a throw-on.
Yeah, it's certainly a poor delivery there from the goalkeeper. I think you can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to open up the play and give his wingers some options, but in the end he's just overhit it. Got maybe even the wrong technique on the ball, and it's just flew out.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what who he was trying to pick out then, unless he was just trying to get that as far down the field as he could. Rangers with the throw. Aarons plays it forwards. Curtis heads it on, but Panathinaikos win it back in. There's a little back heel to get that ball into Ioannidis. The angle's too tight for the shot. He tries to play it across goal. Gets a deflection off Butland, and there should be a clearance here from Diamande. Gets a deflection, and it goes out for a throw to Rangers. But after that 1 minute of attack at the start for the visitors, it's all Panathinaikos.
Yeah, it certainly has been Panathinaikos. Certainly, you can see the determination and how they need a goal early in this game to really keep that momentum. Of course, going into this 2-0 down, the quicker they get a goal, the better they feel, and the more chances they'll have to equalise.
Well, they've got some work to do here. They're trying to clear their lines, but it's going to be another throw to Panathinaikos down the left-hand side. It's Kyriakopoulos throwing it all the way back towards Ahmed Tuba. Just getting under pressure there from Danilo Pereira, but he holds on to the ball here for Panathinaikos. And then it's one over the tops, too high for Kyriakopoulos in the end, and that will go out for a throw. I think they're probably hoping for a goal kick there, Rangers. We're seeing again this chance we had a minute ago. Was the back heel was the right idea, I would say, there from Juricic, but it just overhit it in the end. Yeah,
certainly overhit. And again, I think he's almost hit it into the ground, which gives it a little bit more power. I don't know if the pitch is maybe a little slippy, but it's certainly bouncing off of it well.
It's still Panathinaikos on the attack. They're down the right-hand side this time. Bakasetas in towards Juricic. He overhits that one again. Slightly misplaced, and then free kick finally. A little bit of respite for Rangers there. They get themselves a free kick about 7 or 8 yards away from their own penalty area. Bakasetas there a little bit frustrated with the referee. Doesn't want to give the ball back, but he steps across and goes nowhere near the ball, so it's quite an easy decision there really for Mr. Sosa, the Italian referee from Milan. Will be a free kick here to Rangers, which is a long free kick here from Suter over the top. The idea was to try and pick out Danilo Pereira, but he was always being well marshalled there by Eric Palmer-Brown, who's actually felt a little bit of pain there as he's gone for that one. Diamande as well just seemed to pull up a little bit, but hopefully both players will be okay. It's with Ahmed Tuba now towards Kyriakopoulos on the left-hand side, up towards Juricic. That's well blocked there by James Tavernier. And a throw to Panathinaikos, ball back at the edge of the penalty area. Tuba now back to Drągowski. Long clearance from him up towards the halfway line. It doesn't quite sit with Ioannidis, but there may still be a chance here for Panathinaikos down the left-hand side. Ioannidis gets stopped in the end, but Rangers aren't able to hold on to the ball. The midfield for Rangers, I think they're a little bit stuck as to whether they want to drop even deeper to encourage more attack from Panathinaikos, but at the same time, if they do that, then they've got no outlet when they do win the ball back. Yeah, that certainly seems to be the idea. They're having only 1 or 2 men are pressing at a time, and while Diamande's playing in that centre mid position, on paper he's spent more time in defence or attack. He's not really spent too much in the middle of the pitch, and of course that's credit to his work rate, but Panathinaikos certainly trying to amp the pressure. They are. It's out for a throw to Rangers down the left-hand side. 9 minutes gone here, unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. Goalless between Panathinaikos and Rangers. And the Rangers do lead 2-0 from the first leg. And that 2-0 lead could prove to be crucial, really, when you consider just how this game has started. Rangers really are on top. Just to tell you as well, there is another game. Another game has just finished on our service, I should say, as Karabakh have beaten Ireland's Shelbourne by 1-0. And the Azerbaijani side do advance to the next stage. And back here in Athens, it's once again Panathinaikos in possession with Kousiras down the right-hand side. He gets checked there, but he's not going to get... Has he given away a free kick? No, it's just going to be a throw. Finlay Curtis just asking the question there, the young Rangers man. It is out for a throw to the home side, down the right-hand side. Played back now towards Palmer-Brown. He certainly seems to be moving around fine after that earlier chase back towards his goalkeeper. It's now down the left-hand side here for Kyriakopoulos. He then goes on an overlap, but once again it's Juricic. I don't know if he's got some lead in those boots this evening. I mean, he might have actually got lucky with the deflection there for a corner, but it seems to be that a lot of his passes are overhit so far.
Yeah, it certainly is the case. Panathinaikos, all the ideas are right for them, but it's the execution where they're falling short, at least in these first 10 minutes of the game. Of course, as they warm up, as the game gets going, maybe that'll change and we'll see almost passes of wisdom.
We're going to see how this corner kick's going to be taken. It should be Bakasetas again, the left-footed number 11 outswinger towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed down by Tuba. There wasn't a second Panathinaikos player there to go for it. Goes back to Tuba. He heads it back into the penalty area, but this time it's hooked up in the air by Tavan. It doesn't get enough distance on it really, but it's still flicked on by Danilo Pereira. There's a bit of a collision there in midfield, but once again that second ball is dropping to Panathinaikos every time. And the last man back there, Pedro Chiravella, getting the ball over towards the right-hand side. Then it's Kosiras with the ball towards the penalty area. That's headed up in the air by Ndija. Suter's got some work to do. He just about clears his lines. There's more than one Panathinaikos player asking the question about a potential handball. Then there's another through ball down the right-hand side from Kosiras, but it's overhit and it's out for a goal kick. Meanwhile, you can still see it's Maximovic, I think, who's leading the appeals. Simone Souza just saying, calm down, we'll have a look at this one. I'll tell you what, he rolls up his arm. Now, can he do anything about it? Is his arm there unnaturally? I mean, he's trying to hold on to the opponent's shirt, and as he's still holding the back of Ioannidis' shirt, the ball definitely rolls up his arm.
Yeah, it certainly does, and it's an interesting one because even though he's holding the back of Maximovic, it almost seemed like a delayed reaction to pull the arm away until there was already sustained contact with the ball and his arm. So certainly a grey area, I think.
Yeah, well, the ball has gone out of play, and we've resumed since. So I think VAR would have had a quick glance at that and decided that there's nothing doing. But as far as I'm concerned, I think that would have been quite a harsh decision. I think I'm with you on that one. But once again, Rangers caught in possession. Diamande slides in, but can't win the ball back. And here is Kyriakopoulos now down the left-hand side, puts a cross in towards the back post. Butland watches it in. I wondered for a second there whether that ball was just going to rise above Jack Butland, but in the end he judged his positioning very well. But this is one-way traffic so far in this game.
Yeah, it certainly is, and of course credit to Butland for that recovery and well held by him, and Rangers coming forward now on the attack.
They do. It's a great counter here. It's Raskin that brings the ball forward. He gets into the penalty area. He probably held on to the ball for a little bit too long, but he gets a second chance here. Tries to force a cross. Oh, he's gone too far in the end. And really, for that run from Nick Raskin, Rangers should have had at least a corner kick there, I think.
Yeah, they certainly should have, and I think that's what he went for when he recovered the ball the second time. I think the first time he certainly held on it too long. He had two options in the box to his right, maybe even some players in behind if he held it up, and could have brought other people into the play, but in the end, selfish and loses possession.
He does, and Rangers have got to cherish that attacking possession really, because they've had so little of it in these first 13 minutes. But that said, Jack Butland's not really had a save to make in terms of a shot. A bit of work to do with crosses, but it's just the build-up that looks dangerous from Panathinaikos. Yeah,
it certainly does, and it goes back to the inefficient execution of their attack.
Oh goodness me, there's a mistake there from Max Aarons, and suddenly there's a big problem here for Rangers. A strike coming in, and Butland is called into action this time, and he does make a very good save, although the finish from Pelistri does leave a lot to be desired. I did wonder about that ball. It was just a long ball played towards that right hand channel as Panathinaikos look, and Aarons sort of left it, then he realised I've got to go for it, and he was dispossessed far too easily.
Yeah, he certainly was. It was almost a rookie mistake. He thought he had more time than he did, and well pressured by Pelistri. In the end, the shot wasn't too great, well smothered by Butland, of course, but warning signs amping up for Rangers.
They are. This is to say, if Panathinaikos are making enough of an attacking threat as it is, if Rangers are going to give the ball away like they did there, they were asking for trouble, but for the time being, it is still goalless. But Rangers are forced to do most of their possession very deep inside their own half. Suter just playing that one in towards Rothwell. We need to see more of him. He's such a busy engine in that midfield, but he's virtually been anonymous, which is always a bad sign, I think. A central midfielder always needs to be seen, whether his team are attacking or defending. Ball now back with Suter. Playing back towards the edge of his own penalty area. Butland being closed down, but he should have enough time to get rid of it. It's a bit of a risky pass there to Nasser Dija, but he just about finds Tavernier on the right-hand side. He plays it square back to Harry Suter. And not only are Rangers nervous, you can sense that Panathinaikos can see that Rangers are nervous. They're sending more players up to press as well.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're amping up the pressures because as time goes on, they need that first goal, and it gets more and more important that they do get that. Of course, while Rangers are holding on to the ball, There's not much movement now from Panathinaikos, and that needs to change. They need to win it back and keep up the pressure.
They really do. As it stands here, it's Rangers about 15-20 passes exchanged now, but it's all deep inside their own half. Deja now back towards Harry Suter, and he tries a bit of a riskier pass towards the halfway line. There was a foul there on the Panathinaikos man, but the referee gives an advantage because Pelistri is able to carry on his run down the right-hand side, and that gives Ahrens a chance to dispossess him. Rangers now have the ball back, but there's still plenty of Panathinaikos players here at the edge of the area. Butland eventually has a little bit more time and a little bit more space just to bring this ball towards James Tavernier. Fires one down the right-hand side. First time ball back from Dowell. It was the right idea, but Diamande left it, I think, for some inexplicable reason. Then he slips on the turf as well. You made that point earlier, Dale, that there could potentially be some... maybe they've watered the pitch just before because a couple of players have slipped now. Yeah,
and that's Diamande's second or third time personally slipping as well. So maybe the wrong studs, of course, always a question to ask, but certainly seems like a bit of a slippy surface.
Certainly, players are like F1 cars these days. They've got boots for every kind of weather condition. It may well be that he just needs some slightly longer studs there, Diamande, because he's losing his grip quite a bit. But Suter now square towards Ndija. Tavernier with two Panathinaikos players for company, plays it back towards Suter. Now, it's an awkward bounce. That pitch deceiving Raskin there. And then there's a strong challenge there in midfield. Rangers, but they deserve a free kick there, surely. That was a strong challenge there on Finlay Curtis, but referee says play on. And here come Panathinaikos now, down the right-hand side. A cross coming in. Big header there away from the big man, Harry Suter. Back over on the right-hand side once again. Chance to get this ball into the penalty area. It's with Bakasetas now. In towards Ioannidis. Bakasetas again, got options here left and right, plays the ball into the box. Nice little check turn there. Ioannidis trying to turn away from trouble. Oh, he steps on the ball, but it nearly helps him out. In fact, there's still a second chance there, and it's teed up for Kyriakopoulos in the end has the strike. He's a left footer shooting across the keeper. He was so worried about his technique that in the end the strike didn't have any power in it.
Yeah, you could see him. He saw that he had the space, and he understood that he had the opportunity to shoot. But when you have so much space, it's less instinctual. And he just put his foot through it. Again, it came off the ground, and Jack Butland had to smother it. But it could have been a better shot.
Certainly could have been. As we go back to live picture, we can see Diamande is down for the third or fourth time in this game. We didn't actually see what happened to him. Was he fouled or has he slipped? Let's see as the ball is played. Diamande. In fact, no, we're just seeing a replay of that earlier chance where Ahrens, he was odds-on favourite to just shepherd that ball out for a throw or back to his keeper. And that's very poor the way he lost that.
Yeah, it's just not strong enough from the number 3, the fullback. He needs to do better there. He needs to hold on to the ball, or at least win a foul. He can't let Pelistri just pick his pockets like that.
But fair play to Butland, using his right knee, right thigh there to make that save. And Rangers now back in possession deep inside their own half, with Ndija over towards Ahrens on the left-hand side. Thought about a long ball, but Panathinaikos, to their credit, are playing quite a high offside line, although there is a ball played through to Curtis. It won't reach him, but the second ball is going to get through to Danilo Pereira. Now it is Curtis on the left-hand side, edge of the penalty area. 3 Rangers players in the box if he can try and pick out a cross. He prefers to go back towards Ahrens, deep in midfield, and here is Raskin now, towards Suter on the halfway line. So Rangers, as is the way of a Russell Martin team, it's possession first and attack second, which isn't always a bad idea. I think sometimes you want to be a little bit more direct, but at the same time, I'm not going to criticise Rangers too much. Well, now there's a Panathinaikos player down. We can see that Rui Vitoria's getting frustrated, but this ref, at least he's consistent, the ref. He's hardly given a free kick at all so far.
Yeah, he's certainly been one of the more lenient refs that I've seen in recent memory. But it's gone both ways. Neither side really winning free kicks.
Well, now there's a great chance here for Diamande. It was a header that would have been the assist for the Rangers number 10, threading that ball through to him, but the bounce just wouldn't quite stay with him. As we could see, Rui Vitoria there trying to communicate his frustrations to the fourth official. Russell Martin trying to communicate his frustrations to his players by the looks of it, but they've got an attacking throw here, Rangers, which pretty much the best chance they've had to actually try and get players into the box. It's taken them 19 minutes as well, whereas Tavernier stands with the ball. Who's he going to try and pick out here with the throw? He's got a couple of options. He tries a long throw, which is headed up in the air by 2, but the second ball in is headed away by Palmer Brown, and it eventually drops here to Ahrens, who was almost caught in possession again, but this time he does well to shepherd the ball and play it back towards Suter. Ndija now rolling it back towards the goalkeeper, Jack Butland. A couple of options for the short ball if he wants it. Chooses just to ping one over the halfway line, and it almost turned out like a decent assist here for Curtis, but just a bit too long. Straight back to Drongowski, who hits it first time towards Police Street. It's headed away from him. It's just a little bit of chaotic possession from both sides now, before eventually Palmer Brown just gets his foot over that one, playing it back to his keeper. Before Drongowski then goes up towards the halfway line, taken down. And here is a chance now for Bakasetas. Plays the ball through towards Police Street. He's onside. There are two in the box waiting, and one of them is Ioannidis, who heads it towards the near post. And Butland, just by where he was positioned, was always in a good spot there to make the save, and he just gets his body in the way. But the fact that he never even got a chance to properly put his arms up just shows you how quick that header was. Yeah,
it was a brilliant header there from Ioannidis. The ball mashed by it from Palestri, and Jack Butland just showing his experience, the 32-year-old, in the right place at the right time, just using his body just to almost deflect it out of goal. No actual conscious effort, it's all instinct.
It is, yeah. I mean, he just sees the ball flying at him, puts his arms out, and I think it was a combination of arm and a little bit of body as well there to make that save, pushing it out for a corner kick. We've seen these corners that can be quite dangerous. So they've changed corner kick taker now. It's a short ball in towards the edge of the area. Palistri now turning and going back to the corner kick taker. It's headed in, takes a deflection on the way. It's headed up towards the back post, and it needed another header there from Kieran Dowell. And this time he definitely needed to make a header like in the earlier corner we saw. And it's out for one now on the left-hand side.
Yeah, Dowell doing the business again on the back post. And we can see why he's set up there. But credit to Panathinaikos. They've had about 4 corners now, and every single one's been different.
It has 6 corners to 0 now, and it's only 21 minutes into the game. So really Panathinaikos have ramped up the pressure here. That said, though, out of those 6 corners, maybe 2 or 3 have caused serious problems, so Rangers will still feel as though they know what they're doing, but it's going to be an out-swinging corner now, and it's a good header away. Suter there just at the edge of the 6-yard box, headed back into the penalty area. Once again, it's Suter with the ball. A bit of a loose control there from Ioannidis before it's finally volleyed clear by Max Aarons. It's over the halfway line. Danilo Pereira will chase it, but he's not going to get there first. It's Pedro Chiravella, the midfielder, who stays back for Panathinaikos. Free kicks. Here comes a quick ball now down the right-hand side. It's quickly played away towards the onrushing Kostiras. His cross is charged down, and it's away for another corner kick.
Yeah, it's good work from both Suter and Aarons there, just making sure to first of all not allow Palistri to have the ball for too long, and then Aarons getting in the way of the cross. But it does mean they concede another corner.
They do, and it's going to be they're going back to their regular corner kick taken out. It's going to be a in-swinger from Bakasetas. Good strong header away though at the near post. Back towards Bakasetas again. He just drops his shoulder, looking for options left and right. Gets the header in, which gets a big deflection, and it's back out towards the right-hand side again. Rangers just about holding their line there. Raskin jumping. Suter then with a clearance, and it should now be an easy one here for Finlay Curtis. Risky ball though towards the halfway line, easily given away. So we're over the halfway mark in this first half. It is still goalless here between Panathinaikos and Rangers, and it will be Dale to take us through to half-time.
And Rangers win the ball back on the halfway line, looking to come forward for maybe only the 3rd time in this game. As long as Panathinaikos have had this sustained pressure, it's one thing for them to do that, but still yet to get a goal. And if Rangers could sink just one more in this game and get a 3rd, it would make it a massive mountain for Panathinaikos to climb. They're holding on to the ball comfortably here on the halfway line. Suter back to Aarons, and then back to Suter. No need to rush the ball up the pitch from a Rangers perspective, as Panathinaikos are more than happy to wait for a loose pass before pressing. Diamande finds himself through here, plays up the right hand side for Dowell in towards the penalty area, ball into the box, not beating the first man, Kyriakopoulos, but falls back to Dowell, then to Diamande on the edge of the box into Rothwell. Now to the right hand side for the captain, James Tavernier. It's faced up by 2 Panathinaikos players looking to block the ball into the box, and they do just that as it falls to Kyriakopoulos as he clears it once more into Chiravella. And he has to be careful here. Rothwell looking to pick his pockets, but this ball to Palestri we've seen multiple times now up the right hand side, and he does win it as well. Aarons is facing up against him. He plays it off once more. A shot looking to come in on the edge of the box, but Raskin looking to take the ball away cleanly, as the referee says he has done so. Back and forth game starting to develop now as Rangers trying to have a little bit more possession.
They are. They're doing their best here, Rangers. I mean, they're frustrated not winning that throw on there, and Panathinaikos take it quickly It's out for the referee. The referee just shows for a throw on, but I think it was the linesman that was telling the referee that should be a free kick. Have a look here. I mean, yeah, it's a bit clumsy from Raskin, really, and he does sort of trip Bakasetas.
Yeah, he certainly does, and this was the opportunity earlier that wasn't given. Aarons swears he got the ball on this occasion, but Raskin had to be very careful there because he was on the edge of the box going into the penalty area. If that was given as a foul, it could have gone either way. But a throw-in, or a free kick, sorry, for Panathinaikos in a very dangerous area, looking to get a ball into the box from a different angle. Yeah,
and it's that left foot to Bakasetas from the right-hand side. He'd been getting whip on the ball from a corner. Now, as you said, he's got an angle where he's more in the field. So it really does make it so important here for Rangers to keep that offside line and watch any kind of flick on.
And Bakasetas putting the ball into the box, headed on by Palmer Brown, but unfortunately headed way too high over the bar.
He needed to glance at that one, really. He's actually trying to elevate that ball even more when it's already pretty much a sort of crossbar height. He's lifting it even more, which just means that Butland can see it's going over the bar. And has he actually shouldered that one towards goal? No, it was sort of the side of the head, but he never had that much control over the header, really, did he?
No, he certainly didn't. It was a difficult one. He did well to rise for it, but he's in that half space between two defenders, and he did well to win the header, but it's always difficult to direct that goalwards, and on this occasion, a little bit too high.
It is a little bit too high. I just wonder, yeah, it's a cooling break, doesn't surprise me. We'll just have a quick glance of the weather conditions in Athens. I would imagine for late July, it's going to be quite a warm evening. Yes, it's 29 degrees. Bearing in mind, it's of course an hour ahead of us as well. So it is a warm evening in Athens, which I say in late July you wouldn't be surprised at that. But players taking the drinks. But a bit of a worry that all the players came over for a drink, but apart from Butland, who sat down in his goal.
Yeah, it's certainly not what you want to see. But of course, Butland spent most of his time in that area. It does appear to me that he's getting medical attention, but thumbs up from the team to say that he's okay and doesn't need any more help than he's been given. And if Rangers are going to get through this game, of course with a clean sheet or with that possibility of not conceding too many, well, Butland's going to be at the core of that. Absolutely.
Liam Kelly is the reserve keeper on the bench for Rangers this evening, so if needs be he would be called on, the 29-year-old. Of course, Butland with his experience and his time with England as well, they would certainly prefer for him to stay on the field. And as I say, he looks like he's okay to play on. The drinks break is over. But although you mentioned to say Rangers are starting to step up a little bit, it is still Panathinaikos putting a lot of pressure on.
Yeah, Panathinaikos coming out with the pressure there. Curtis just getting a touch on the ball as it went out to the left, and the pockets have been picked here again in the box, laid off into the centre, and a shot has been absolutely spooned over the bar there by Palestri. And while he's done well in this game to get into those positions, the finish has to be better.
Well, it does. I mean, fair play to Juricic to sort of give his teammate a pat on the back, because it's all Juricic's hustle that gets this ball back for Panathinaikos. He's overhit a few passes this evening. This time, though, it's a perfect pass. And Palestri, I don't know why he's trying to sort of open up his instep to try and get that into the top corner. He just put his laces through it and hit it almost down the middle. He's got every chance of beating Butland there, but I think he was trying to be a bit too clever with the finish in the end.
Yeah, it certainly is a difficult one for the number 28 up on the right-hand side, and 8 attempts for Panathinaikos, 4 of those on target, so clearly looking to test Butland.
Yeah, and to nil, of course. Well, Rangers have not had any kind of effort on goal, on or off target so far, so it's looking a little bit bleak for us on Martin's side, but now things are just starting to open up.
Yep, Rangers coming along the left-hand side now with Curtis. He's not had too much time on the ball, but he's been quickly dispossessed by Kotsares, but it does mean that Rangers will have a corner.
They will. They can get players into the box here now. It's a good chance for Rangers. They've struggled to create anything out of open play, so maybe this set piece just gives them a half a chance, and it looks like it's going to be an in-swinger from Joe Rothwell.
Yeah, as he goes to collect the ball, and Panathinaikos, well, they've got almost every player in the box, making sure that they don't concede one more. If Rangers do extend their lead to 3-0 on aggregate, of course, well, that could make this a very, very difficult game for Panathinaikos, where you look at the opportunities Palestri's just had, and maybe a moment to regret. But Rothwell with the right foot in swinger, it's high, lofted towards the back post. The header's won by Sutar, second ball won by Panathinaikos, but it falls to Curtis, who doesn't quite get his connection right, and it does just almost bobble out to the left-hand side.
It does. A bit of a shame that for Rangers. If Curtis could have put his foot through that cleanly, there would have been a good chance of that being on target, but it's Sutar who watches that one all the way to the edge of the 6-yard box. And then, yeah, it's just a really scuffed effort there from Finley Curtis in the end to go wide of goal. But that's a little sighter for Rangers. They just need more of those now.
Yeah, They certainly do. They benefited from a lucky bounce off the thigh of Chirivella. Unfortunately, couldn't turn that into a goal. Panathinaikos win the ball back, but he's been dispossessed quickly, and then a potential free kick's been given to Panathinaikos.
It is, yeah. The referee's let quite a lot go, but this one gone Kyriakopoulos for whatever reason. The referee's not too happy about this one. He's just having a quick word there with Kieran Dowell as well, just to calm the Rangers man down.
Dowell not looking too happy about.
Well, he's not done too much. I mean, he has run into Kyriakopoulos, but for the Panathinaikos man to be down like he's got a muscle injury is probably a bit of an exaggeration.
Certainly, maybe an embellishment just to make sure he won the free kick. Argues that he's bought it, but John Gowski going to take the free kick, almost like a goal kick, hoisted up into the air. The head is won by Sutar, and Rangers are back on the ball in their own half. Dispossessed ever so quickly though, and Bakasetis plays it out to the left-hand side now. Juricic back into Bakasetis. The touch does come off of a Rangers man, but the referee has given a goal kick.
He has, yeah. I mean, there's not much of an appeal from the Panathinaikos players, but I was with you live. I thought that this was a corner. Let's have a look here as Bakasetis tries to... If anything, it's good work there from Ndija because he stops the ball, and then Bakasetis is the one who actually forces it out. So fair play to the referee.
Yeah, good eyes from Simone Souza as Rangers win the ball back quickly. Dowell in his own half plays it into Pereira, who tries to fire it quick towards Diamande, but the pass was always off target. Palmer Brown back on the ball. Panathinaikos not having the same pressure that they did minutes ago, as they're trying to build up those opportunities. And of course, you'll always look back to that, well, the two big opportunities for Palestri to get on the score sheet today in 30 minutes alone, as Juricic drives towards the box, plays it in towards Ioannidis, but unable to do much more than keep the pressure going as it goes out for a throw-in. Good clearance from the Rangers defence. We're not seeing too much of Ioannidis through the middle today. I mean, he's had that one chance with the header, but not really getting too much service.
He's not. No, there's plenty of Panathinaikos attacking possession, but it's like they're doing it all down the channels. They can't quite find their number 9 in the middle. Well, they're number 7, of course, but he's playing in the number 9 role. He did have the ball there just briefly, but it's just played back into midfield.
Yes, Kyriakopoulos into Chirivella, and then out to the right-hand side with Kotsaras. He does well to drive past his man, puts the ball in towards the box. The header goes up and cleared away ever so quickly by Rangers, and then Diamande comes onto the ball and is promptly taken down to win his side a free kick, and again offer some respite.
Oh, some respite, that's right. Yeah, it was Maximovic who was the target for that previous cross. But yeah, that's. I mean, he's a little bit frustrated there, Ahmed, too. But I think it's the right decision. The referee had to just take a look at that one, and Rangers would have been very pleased to hear that whistle, because it just means that they can have a little bit of a break in getting that ball away from their own penalty area.
Jack Butland threatening to take the free kick in a goal kick like fashion, but instead plays it short, and then Danilo Pereira drops deep to collect the ball, and Rangers threatening to pass it around. And just seeing now the possession stats, and surprisingly only 51% possession, and that's in favour of Rangers, and Panathinaikos with only 49%, when maybe 10 minutes ago that would have been a different story.
It would have been, yeah. I think that there has been a slight shift, but the worry, I think, for me is that Rangers, with that one effort off target from Curtis, they're still not getting enough possession. The fact is that the Greek side are seeing so much more of the ball, and they just feel comfortable on it, whereas when Rangers have the ball, they're sort of nervous about keeping it in their own half, and they're even more nervous about sending it into the opposition half.
A long ball over the top, looking for Ioannidis, unable to find him, ushered away and behind by Tavernier. So a throw in for Panathinaikos. That's taken quickly. The number 7 does well to hold it up, but he's almost wrestled to the ground by the Rangers captain Tavernier, and he still has protestations about the fact that the free kick's being given, but I don't think he can really argue too much about it.
No, I don't think he can. I mean, as he's trying to turn, he's holding on to the man. That's always going to be given in favour there, even if there's not too much intent there from Tavernier. He was trying to just shield the ball as much as he could, but in the end, just too much contact.
Free kick similar to one given earlier. Bakasetis was over the ball for that one, and this time not so much. It's Juricic who looks like he'll be the one to put the ball into the box. Palmer Brown looking like the target man, but it goes over the top. Ioannidis looks like he was going to take a shot, but the header was rather poor in the end and spooned over the bar, and after all these chances for Panathinaikos, and none of them really testing the goalkeeper, maybe the header, and of course Palestri going through on goal, but certainly not the efficiency that they would have hoped for.
No, for the amount of possession they've had, the turnover into actual chances is poor from Panathinaikos, we have to say that, and that's partly down to some poor passing and set up play, and also some good defending from Rangers. Let's say that as well. They have tried to flood the box as much as they can. They've given away a silly free kick there, though. There's been a few too many of them. I think the referee has been pedantic on some occasions, and he's let things go on others. But there in Dija, I mean, as he's trying to get the ball, he can't quite do it. And then Diamande, if you hold on to a player like that when they're in mid-flight, they're always going to get the free kick in their favour. Yeah,
they certainly will. You can't hold on to the arm of a player who's maybe 2, 3, 4 yards ahead of you. Diamande, he's learned that, as we just see now that Rangers have given away 4 fouls to Panathinaikos' 2. So certainly a proportion of that is clearly in Rangers' favour, as they've done more of the defending. But Panathinaikos looking to spread the ball out to the left-hand side now with Kyriakopoulos. He's going to play it backwards, looking to keep a hold of the ball in towards Tuba and Palmer-Brown. And for once in this game, we're seeing Panathinaikos not immediately rush to get the ball up the top. They have now converted that into the offensive half of the pitch, with Palestri left by Ioannidis. I'm not too sure if that was intentional or whether or not he was ushered away from the ball, but no one in a green shirt behind him to collect the dummy. So Rangers come away with the ball. Now to the left-hand side with Curtis, played in towards Sutar. He looks to break away from the Panathinaikos players, but unable to do so. And then Rothwell, he goes into the back of a Panathinaikos man, but then Aarons has also come together with said Panathinaikos man, and the free kick's been given Rangers' way.
It is, and Bakasetas is just trying to argue the case. The referee is sort of stopping him from being too friendly. I think Bakasetas wanted to put his arm around the referee, saying, no, it's all right, I can tell you what I need to without you getting too close, but he's just saying this to take it easy there, because it was a little bit excessive. We could see Rothwell just playing that ball in, and yeah, he doesn't need to do that really. Bakasetas, he was never going to get the ball anyway. Just seemed like a little bit of a cynical foul, but the way the referee's let things go, I think it's going to take quite a special foul for there to be a yellow card this evening.
It certainly seems to be shaping up that way, and both sides more than happy to test the waters with their fouls and see what they can and how much they can get away with. And that's a poor delivery there from the free kick. Clearly offside was Curtis on the left-hand side. Tried to time his run, unable to do so. And Panathinaikos come away with the ball. A long ball over the top in towards Tavernier, quite low to the ground. And he dives to header it back towards Butland.
It always amuses me that way. You think the player could probably just take a touch, but it's almost like he's set it in his mind, I'm gonna head this one, and when it gets a bit low, he's already in position and is comfortable to get away with it. But that's a good ball though from Tavernier, and suddenly Rangers are in the opposition half.
Certainly is, with Raskin on the left-hand side in towards Curtis. He's faced up against Kotsiras. He takes the shot, does Curtis, deflects away and out for the second Rangers corner.
I would say that getting a corner in this position with Rangers having so little possession isn't a bad thing, but when you think of there were 4 players in and around the penalty area there, Curtis maybe could have just looked up. There were a few Panathinaikos players tracking back as well, of course, but there was an option, I think, there to try and get a pass into a teammate. Now, of course, off the last corner, there was that scuffed effort from Curtis after a ball in from Rothwell. He was aiming at the far post where Harry Suter was, so let's wait and see what Joe Rothwell, I should say, will do this time.
Looks like it will be the right-footed Rothwell as well to put the ball into the box. It's high, lofted in towards the back post. The header goes up in the end from a Rangers man. It is Raskin, not the tallest of the bunch, but neither of the Rangers men are significantly tall, so he's done well to win the header. He is claiming it came off the head of Tuba.
It's hard to see from that one replay, isn't it? I mean, you mentioned there aren't too many tall Rangers players. I mean, all the Panathinaikos players around Raskin were taller than him as well, but he was quite easily able to jump to that one first.
He certainly did well, showing offensive determination to win the header. But Rangers have the ball yet again, and from a Panathinaikos perspective, this is what you don't want. Rangers getting more comfortable on the ball, where they can clearly punish you, like we saw in the last game with Rangers taking a 2-0 lead. If they get comfortable, they can be a dangerous side, can Martin Russell's side. And now with the ball in their own half, looking comfortable, looking like they're ready to develop the play. A good interception there by Tuba, but not too much reward for his risk of stepping up, as Raskin has the ball yet again as he plays it in towards Tavernier. The Rangers captain looking for some options to dictate the play and maybe create some opportunities to test the goalkeeper in this game. They're still yet to do so, our Rangers. No attempts on target as of yet, as Giga plays it in towards Tavernier and out to the left hand side for Sutar. Rothwell doing well to sit a little bit deeper. It certainly seems as the number on his back dictates, he's sitting a little bit deeper and dictating that midfield is Rothwell. More than happy to anchor the play.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, just as we say that, he actually loses the ball, and all of a sudden there's a great chance here for Juricic.
Juricic on the left hand side, ushered out towards the left by Giga, but unable to keep him off of the ball. The ball comes into the box, but well deflected by Giga, and Diamande tries to carry it out of the box, which is always a risky option. And Raskin stumbling on the ball, but eventually working in his favour. Curtis picks the ball up deep in his own half, playing it back towards Giga and to Rothwell, and he needs to do well not to be dispossessed again. Eventually taking the safe route, playing it back towards Butland, who clears it out to the left hand side for Arendt. He's got space to drive into, and he does just that, as he's got Curtis on his left and Danilo Pereira on his right. He makes the underlapping run, does the fullback, but the pass from Curtis slightly overhit and unable to connect the two dots.
No, they weren't, and at the same time there's a real sort of frustrated thumping of the turf there from Danilo Pereira in the middle of the penalty area, because in fairness, I mean, the Rangers striker, he might as well be a Rangers midfielder or defender. He's had no service in this half at all.
He certainly hasn't had much delivery in towards him, and credit to Pereira. I think in that instance he made a lovely darting run between the two centre halves who'd almost spread themselves a little bit wider, so it could have been a great opportunity if the ball was right. And of course you've always got to ask yourself, ask Curtis as well, whether or not he feels like he's capable of playing that ball. The young 18-year-old really didn't feel too confident in doing so, opted for the safer option of the underlapping fullback, but in the end a poor pass, and a long ball over the top from Panathinaikos means that Rangers can win the ball back with ease, and they're more than happy to hold on to it and develop the play naturally, as Sutar plays it in towards Raskin. He's got no options, does the midfielder, so we'll play it back towards Giga and then towards the captain, James Tavernier. And Panathinaikos, I think, interestingly for his team, who needs to get 2 goals in this game, and they've had so much pressure when they're on the ball, but when Rangers have the ball, they're more than happy to let them have it.
They are, yeah. It's Panathinaikos obviously feel confident that the way they've pressed means that they've sort of narrowed the field so much the Rangers can't really use it. But there, Diamande found some space, and here comes Dowell now down the right-hand side.
Dowell faced up against Kyriakopoulos, and then back to Diamande. Almost a 5-man defence for Panathinaikos to really make it ironclad and make sure that Rangers don't get that all-important first goal in this game. Somehow from that promising position that Diamande and Dowell found themselves in, we were back with the centre halves for a moment, and then a pass to Diamande trying to link up with Dowell again, picked up by Panathinaikos men, and that's a late challenge there from James Tavernier.
And the referee gives a throw on. Goodness me.
Not given the free kick in that instance.
I was worried that there might be a card coming out here. I mean, maybe, as I say, it looked bad from the angle we saw live. From that second angle, does he get the ball? Well, he does a bit, but I mean, it's say maybe we've just been spoiled watching a very strict Premier League refs there, who would have. I think there would have been an issue if that was a Premier League game.
It certainly looked like a reckless challenge, but on replay there wasn't too much connection. With the man
there wasn't. No,
Tavernier, but a long ball over the top, looking for Ioannidis here. If he's onside, could have put him into a brilliant position. A little shove through the back of Aarons there, and while Simone Souza not too willing to give free kicks in this game, the sideline referee more than happy to.
Well, we'll see. The assistant here felt as though, yeah, I mean, it is a shove in the back. And I love that when players just shove an opponent and say, ref, it's a 50-50, I'm going for the ball. You know, it's not. If a player's got their back to you and you shove him in the back, that's not a 50-50 fight for the ball. So as far as I'm concerned, it was the right decision. Nice bit of respite here for Rangers as well. And when you think that we're just 45 seconds away from injury time in this first half, Rangers will be happy, because although Panathinaikos are trying, they haven't had too many efforts on goal, and in the tie, Rangers are 2-0 up.
Rangers certainly in the better position of the two sides, if you take both games into account. Of course, if this was a single game, you'd definitely back Panathinaikos to be the team going forward, but Rangers holding their cards close to their chest and more than happy to not time waste necessarily, but certainly manage the game in a way that Panathinaikos don't get too many opportunities on the ball. A long ball over the top looking for Ioannidis, faced up by Giga. Ioannidis does eventually get the second ball, but so does Rothwell, and a free kick's being given the way of the Scottish side.
Yeah, well, I can't lip read exactly what Ioannidis is saying there, but suffice to say he wasn't happy. Let's have a look. I mean, the boot is raised, but by the time he gets near the player, the boot comes down. But I suppose there is that moment where the boot goes up. So, yeah, I think that in this day and age, the referee is always likely to give that free kick. And we go into 2 minutes of injury time.
We've just crossed over the 45th minute. And a free kick for Rangers in just slightly over the halfway line. It's long on the floor and then eventually passed back to the free kick taker. Trying to find Curtis in behind was Sutar, but unable to play that ball effectively, and it goes out for a Panathinaikos throw. And what a time it would be for Panathinaikos to build up the play and get one more opportunity, maybe get a goal just before half time. I think if they go into half time 1-0 up, 1 goal to the good, they'll certainly say it's been a good half.
They absolutely will. They'll be very pleased to try and get a goal back, to try and reduce the deficit before half time. Bit of a clash there. Bakasetas getting caught. At least he claims he got caught there by Rothwell.
Yeah, Bakasetas still down on the ground, holding his face, and you couldn't accuse him of wasting time.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right, though, because of course it is Panathinaikos' time that it's far more precious to them than it is to Rangers. So if Bakasetas is reacting in the way that he is, he could be forgiven for thinking that it may well be, well, goodness me, we'll interrupt that. Bakasetas is fine now, but it's Dragowski that maybe has taken a blow to the head, because he got, I mean, in fairness, the pass back to him was a little bit of a bouncing ball, but he miscues it completely, and from Panathinaikos just playing the ball back to the edge of their own box, suddenly Rangers have a corner.
Yeah, it's certainly a curious situation that Dragowski found himself in, and I think you can only maybe put it down to the fact that he's not had too much time on the ball in this game, aside from, of course, the dead ball set pieces. But Rothwell will put the ball into the box. The headers all rise, headed away by Kyriakopoulos, and it looks like Panathinaikos will have an opportunity to break here on the left-hand side. Pelestri on his unfavoured side, of course. He's eventually brought down by Dowell, and it looked like the foot swiped the Panathinaikos man. Dowell not even stopping to talk to the referee as he knew what was coming, and he's the first man in the box.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fair cop in police parlance there from Kieran Dowell. He doesn't even bother waiting for the referee because he knew what was coming. That's the definition of taking one for the team.
Yeah, and it was almost a case of he had to do that there. Pelestri, he did have 2, maybe even 3 white and blue shirts around him, of course, but not wanting to take that opportunity. And of course he's a player who'll find himself on the other side of the pitch more often than not, so the risk of a second yellow maybe not too high as opposed to one of the defenders. But a dangerous free kick 3 minutes into the 2 originally added on, as Juricic and Bakasetas stand over the ball. A very, very high line from Rangers means that any delivery here has to be spot on. A ball in towards the back post, tries to be headed on by Kyriakopoulos, and a shot coming in from the edge of the box. Well, woeful is the way to describe that shot.
Absolutely, yeah, he skies it over the bar. I think the referee was actually pointing to a potential offside inside the penalty area after that first ball was played in anyway. Just wondering whether or not we're going to see any more time. In fact, no, we've got confirmation now that is half-time here at Olympiako Stadio Spyros Louis, where it is goalless between Panathinaikos and Rangers. Rangers lead 2-0 on aggregate, and myself and Dale will be back for you in 15 minutes.